Welcome to Chaotic Harmony. My name is John.
This is Crystal.
I'm Mark.
I'm Zoe.
We talk about the joys and the challenges of teaching music in the elementary school classroom. We share inspiration, we share struggles, we brainstorm solutions. We would love to have you join us. Hey guys, welcome to another week. We are talking about classroom management.
Woo. Yes.
Yay. Mm-hmm. I think most of us are coming up onto the first half of the year being gone by the time this airs, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think classroom management is always a good refresher at the very beginning of a school year, but it is time to reevaluate. I think we can all agree.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Always room for growth. Always.
Especially as we head into like Thanksgiving and then the winter season, and then you have a little bit of break, and then if you want to use anything that you grab from this once the new year starts,
exactly.
Hashtag New Year, New Me.
Just to give them coal. That's what you do. It's like, okay, here's coal.
Coal.
Santa.
Yeah, I got it. It just took me like a minute there.
I've never gotten coal.
You never what?
He's never gotten cold.
Okay.
No, coal. Although I did get a stuffed donkey once.
Okay.
From Shrek, and when you squeezed it, it went donkey. So, I mean, that was fun.
Okay.
That was fun. Okay. So I was thinking about how it's important to kind of refresh on classroom management as the year goes on, and we are presenting at the Mega Arts Conference this year about how we have kind of found things that work for us in our own music rooms. Side note, this also got me thinking about it. We were in the staff meeting for my school about a month ago, and our principal had kept track of how many referrals, like behavior referrals, had been given out throughout the year, and it was like pretty even. She tracked like where they were given, playground, hallway, or classroom, and then how many like in a particular day, month, and it was like the 2 days before like winter break, it was like skyrocketed, and we were like, okay. And so yeah, it's time to reevaluate classroom management and remind everybody of the rules.
Sure.
We went to a professional development of PD last year, led by Pauline Crooks from the San Diego County Office of Ed, who talked about classroom management. She had some really valuable things to say, and I think it all boiled down to two things that I took away from it. Maybe you guys had different takeaways, but one, having a very consistent, predictable routine that you drill over and over again, and don't be afraid to get out those day one of music class slides and like review. Rule
number 5: cooties don't exist.
Cooties don't exist. That's a funny rule, John. But then also maintaining a warm demeanor as the leader of your classroom
as you get colder into the season.
Yeah, like wear an extra sweater. No, like be nice. be the unflappable, trustworthy adult. I know that's always my goal. I definitely have my less than stellar human moments once in a while. But I think it's important, especially since we don't see the kids as frequently as a classroom teacher. So just making sure that what little interaction they have with us is positive is so important. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think it does go a long way. But anyway, I'm wondering, do you guys have an opening procedure that you do on a day-to-day basis when you greet your classes? All of us teach hundreds of kids. Yeah. So what do you do with every class that walks in? Do you have like a welcome procedure? Yeah.
Well, and I was also thinking about Pauline's presentation, so definitely consistency and also follow through.
Yeah.
So if you say you're going to do something, you got to do it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, or else you've just lost some trust.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, street cred, it's important.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I stole from I've seen other teachers do this, and I've seen YouTube where the teacher stands at the door and they do a handshake, or they do just something. So I just quickly drew with like a marker on a piece of construction paper, like a little hand for a high five, a heart for a hug, fist bump, like little fists, and then what was my other one? Wave, maybe? Mm-hmm. I don't remember what the other one. There's 4. But like also kids can tell you what kind of greeting they want. Smile.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And wow, it makes a huge difference. Like in the last in my first 2 years at Rosebank, I had so many kids that would walk in with their head down, and I didn't know how to change that. Even though I'd be at the door, just having a visual for them on the door for them to know, okay, I'm going to be here and you have to do this before you come into the door. It's been huge.
I like it.
Yeah.
So about you?
I have the kids. I have sit spots, and they're all numbered. And what I've done this quarter is I let the kids randomly select their seats. So I had a little mason jar with popsicle sticks, and it had numbers on them. So the kids on the first day back, when we got back from fall break, the kids walked in and held my jar. They picked a number, and that was their seat. And so on the back, I had them chart, and so that's kind of their seat. So they come in and sit on their sit spots, and then I take attendance. I use an app called Idokio, I believe is what it's called. And so I have every single class on there, and I'm able to track everything using this app. So I take attendance, and for me, like, that's one of the most important things, so I know who's in my classroom. So if we were to have an emergency, we would have something, I could tell you, I have this many students, or this person's not here. And then also I can see who's been missing music. So like if we've been covering something and I see that, you know, that Nevaeh's missed 2 weeks in a row, 3 weeks in a row, she might not know where we're at.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the first things I do. I'll greet the kids at the door. They'll come in, they'll sit on their spots, they'll take attendance really quick. Sometimes I'll just have them say here. Sometimes I'll have them say how they're doing, or just make a silly noise or something, you know, just to kind of engage them. And then I'll let them know what we're working on today, and then we start our day.
Nice. Good.
For me, with the kindergarten, first grade, I do a little differently than the rest of them, mainly because first off age, but also I'm trying some new stuff and seeing if I want to build off of it. With the kindergartens, first graders, we either swim into the classroom or we pull into the classroom. And I try to incorporate also some mobile movements in how we enter as well. So interactive movement, usually it's either silent or sound effects, depending on, but not singing so much. And then we get into a circle, we sit down and we start the day off, or the afternoon off. And with the upper graders, they have assigned seats for the quarter, and then we move on from there. But typically, the question was, how do you start the class? Or like,
yeah, like, do you have an opening routine? Yeah.
There's that. There's also the greeting. Then there's also from there on, it's the system where the structure of the class goes. Yeah.
Yeah. My art teacher started doing the hugs, handshakes, or high fives at the door, and I loved it. I have forever done a movement routine to get into the room. And I'm still a fan of it, so I'm not quite sure how to do both. And sometimes I just switch it off to keep them guessing. But I do notice it makes a big difference when I greet everybody individually. They feel acknowledged, and it's important that they all feel acknowledged, especially when we see so many of them. So even if we do dance into the classroom, I try to do roll for safety issues, because you need to know who's present. It helps me reinforce all 400 names, and then it also just gives that contact, that eye contact, and that hello to everybody individually. So yeah.
Crystal, I remember you saying a few years ago about how you really prioritized learning students' names, and that was something that stuck with me. So I think we talked about it in Laure's episode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So now I've got it down, because like I've been at the same school for this is my third year, like 1, maybe 2 in every class, and if I mess up their names, like Isaac, Isaiah, I'm doing 2 push-ups.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Then and there. Because, you gotta
get swole for the kids.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Gotta work on those biceps.
Yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
like that.
I know. I'll bet the kids love it.
The kindergartners are like, push up. Oh, yeah.
Kindergarten is where I would get most of them, yeah.
Yeah.
That is pretty funny.
Yeah, it's fun.
You gotta sneak in that workout where you can get it.
Yes.
Woo. I don't know if I could do push-ups. It might have to be like lunges. Squats.
There you go.
Yeah.
Jump squats.
Ooh.
2 jump squats. I like it. Okay, so opening routines are important. I have 4 rules in my music room. They are the same 4 rules when they are in kindergarten, all the way through 6th grade. They are Tim Wiegand's rules. Hi, Tim. And they are simple and effective, and I see no need to change them. So I use his classroom management stuff from Energize Your Music Room that he wrote, and it's good stuff. It's just solid. It's easy to understand. And so do you guys have a simple list of rules, and do they change from grade level to grade level?
Yeah, I based mine off of Tim Wiegand as well. I started that this year. I had some weird stuff back when I first started and whatnot, but like
Sure.
I've stuck with that.
We all had. It's okay.
The first one is... it's been a long time since I looked at what's the first one?
Follow directions.
Yeah, follow directions. So I think I'm wanting to adapt that. Follow directions is important, but also listening to the speaker is, I feel like, one thing that is current with my classroom. So I might split that into two bits. Also, again, rule number 5. Cooties don't exist.
Cooties don't exist. It's an important addition.
It is.
I have my kids trained with rule number 1 for me to say, I say it, and then they say, we do it.
Nice.
But for me, like sometimes we'll have that conversational aspect. So like, it's also listening to, if say Grace is speaking, we should be listening to Grace. If Adrian's speaking, we should listen to Adrian.
That's true. Like handing off and who's the leader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of use follow directions, and I interchange direction and expectation.
Yep.
And so I tell my kids, anytime that they're not like, you're not meeting an expectation right now. And I'm clear with my expectations, even if it's just walking into the classroom like, all right, this is our expectation. I expect us to be, in a straight line or whatever it is. And if they don't follow, I'm like, hey, we're not meeting an expectation. And I know you can meet it. And so we have to try it again. So just constantly using that language for them, just because I want them to know that I hold them to a high expectation and they can meet it. And when they do, we move on, and it's not a big deal. But I, too, use Tim's stuff. Last year, I added a 5th rule that I took away this year, but it was come open to learn. And so my thought process, and I explained last year to the kids, like, you might not be ready to learn, but at least coming with the mindset, like, I'm going to try. But I got a lot of glazed eyes when I was kind of explaining that last year. And so I don't know if it's just right now they just kind of don't understand that concept fully of being, like, open to doing something and ready to do something or different things. Because, like, I'm not always ready to do something, but if I'm open to it, then I can participate. So I kind of got rid of that one this year, but so I used the 4. Follow directions, keep your hands and instruments to yourself. No put downs, and join everything you do.
Do you receive more glazed eyes with a certain age demographic, or?
No, it's kind of just
all around.
Everyone was like, what?
Okay, that's fair.
No, I could have explained it poorly, but... Yeah.
So we turned it into a chant.
Oh.
The
Yeah,
4 rules.
okay.
Yeah, so it's just like we started off as echo, so it's like follow direction. Well, and we did like this. Follow directions.
Okay. Layer some
Follow
ostinatos.
directions.
Hands, feet. Yeah. Then,
Okay.
Yeah, and we just
Orf it up.
we do that at the very beginning of every class.
Cool.
That's good.
We drill positions a lot too, so I've got them trained to make a circle, a long ways set for like Alabama gal or whatever, and a scatter position on cue. And so I do that at the beginning, the very first day of every single school year. And until they can make each position in less than 5 seconds, we keep doing it.
We do the same idea. Start with 10, then we say, okay, can you do an 8?
Yep.
Just, slowly build up to that.
It's always good to keep a tally on the board of how quickly each class does it too.
Yeah.
I do that with
should do
orchestra.
that.
I'm like, well, Miss Potts' class packed up all the string instruments correctly, mind you, in 3 minutes. How can you do it?
That's good.
Yeah, and if I find a tight bow, I call them out of class to come loosen it. Put that thing away right.
I really like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So this is an idea that I brought up before we started recording, but and this is not my idea. This was my student teacher, Danny Gerardo's. When he was kind of absorbing how we do things, he explained it to his class that me and my art teacher have set up layers of management in the VAPA wing. So she took Tim's idea of having this behavior chart. So I have a happy face on one side and a sad face on the other. And on my slider that's at the top of my whiteboard, I have a star. And the star always starts out on happy. In between is the danger zone. So I slide it down and I say danger, danger if they're off task or whatever. And if it makes it all the way to the sad face, they lose 1 sticker. And then they get to go back to happy and try to keep their 2nd sticker. So they always start with 2 stickers from me and 2 stickers from her. She does like table points because everybody's seated working on art projects. But then she also does the danger zone. But she has like warm colors and cool colors.
That's fun.
Yeah,
Yes.
so she tied it in with her standards, which is cute. And then we have a chart in the hallway. And at the end of every quarter, we tally up who earned a VAPA party. So we're using the silhouette screen idea from Orf Levels for our party. So I have a screen I set up and I backlight it with an old projector. Like, what are they called? Like
Overhead projector.
Overhead projector? Yeah, the
Right.
transparency projectors.
Transparency, yeah.
Yeah, is that what it is?
Transparency,
Yeah, and it was an old one lurking in a closet somewhere. And then the kids go back there and they make shapes and you can see them projected onto the front. So we're going to do that and have a monster party.
Cool.
when they come back to school. But it's free stuff like that. I know she did like a popcorn party for them at the end of last year, and they showed off their art. So we trade off who does the party.
Okay.
So she's going on maternity leave, so I'm going to do the first and second quarter parties, and then we'll see who does the spring. But it's worked well. So we've got like all of VAPA, you have a measurement for how your class did for the whole time we're together. You can get up to 4 stickers. That is really helpful for their classroom teachers to be like, how did they do all morning? Because we have them for 3 hours between the two of us. Well, less than that, whatever. And then we have like our individual things. Like we have our, I have my Ting Sha symbols that I wear that I think all of us use, right? We all use Ting Sha now from, that
So
was
say
a
again?
Joshua block, right? The symbols that we wear on our shoulders,
Yeah.
Ting Sha. Yeah, so they're nice because they're 2 symbols that are held by a leather cord, and you can put them on your shoulder. And one ding is eyes on me, or stop talking if there's talking. And 2 dings is ready. Gosh, I'm...
Right rest.
Well, Tim calls it a right rest. I call it rest and ready. That's what it is. Rest and ready,
Yeah,
like
that's-
ready to go. Yeah. Yay.
One thing that I love about the Energize Your Classroom Tim Wiegand system is like it reinforces positive behavior. So, and it's really been effective. I have tried it for the first time this year. And do you guys like give your teachers the feedback, like how many stars that they got? Okay,
Yes.
great. Like the teachers demand it now.
Yeah,
That's good.
They're
They
like,
wanna know.
Yeah, we want to know how many stars they got.
Laurie gives out Be Sharp awards,
Yes.
which
She
I think is
would.
cute.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I'm wondering, like, like how can we keep doing things that reinforce positive behavior in music classrooms?
So with our school, we have a PBIS system where each class can earn an Eagle ticket. We're the Eagles. And so Eagle tickets can be given away by teachers. And at the end of the school year, whichever class in lower grade and then upper grade has the most Eagle tickets gets a game truck. So that's what our PBIS team has decided. And so for us, we use a similar system. The Tim Wiegand. Sorry, Tim. And so in music class, they can earn up to 2 marbles. And so we'll have marbles on the sliders, and they'll get to the danger zone, take it off. And then for every 8 marbles, they get an Eagle ticket to their class.
Okay.
And same with art. So they can earn up to an Eagle ticket a month, essentially, if they do a good job. And so I've been telling teachers about it as I've been hitting on Eagle tickets. And so like they're super excited about it. And I had one of my 5th grade teachers, she told me like it kind of changed their day. So they were just having a rough morning, and I found a little bit of a break, so I ran over there and I was like, hey, just want to let you know in music class, like they earned marbles and just you earned your Eagle ticket. And she's like, oh my gosh. And so it kind of turned their day around. So it was really cool to hear. So that's how in VAPA we're using the school-wide system that's already been set in place to help reinforce that and then to help our classrooms.
We have Bulldog Awards, so we do the same thing. We have big tickets that are given to classes. So we've decided if a class walks away with 2 stickers in both art and music, they automatically get a Bulldog Award.
Cool.
Because we want the classes to get a lot. They get like pencils if they get the first 10, and then they get a party if they get 20. There's like a big prize for every 10 that a class accrues.
Yeah.
And then we give out individual awards, and Dr. Pring calls like 8 kids every morning to go to the office for a prize, and she'll say like Sebastian in room 602 was caught by Mrs. Pridmore for responsibility or whatever, because we have our Finney Bulldog values: be kind, be safe, and be responsible. So
Yeah.
it's a similar idea.
Sure.
We also
Yeah.
do something similar to that effect. With my first principal, we had, I don't even remember what we called it back then, but we had a similar set where we would give individual tickets to students, and then their name would be called at the end of the week. When she left, that wasn't in place. We were thinking of bringing it back in, but VAPA kept that idea. So we call it the VAPA Gotcha, or Gotcha doing something good. And so, yeah, I just give out gotcha tickets to students that are doing a great job. At the end of the week, do a raffle, and then we give a little prize to a student.
We do shout outs.
Shout outs.
Shout-outs are great.
Yeah, so we have little cards, and on the card it has TK to 6 and staff, so we can also do staff shout-outs. And so you can circle the grade and then write the reason, and then over the morning announcements they'll do a section of shout-outs. So it's fun because whoever's doing the announcements, they'll be like, all right, it's time for shout-outs, or like, I got a shout-out, and then everyone in the class well, at least in the classes I've taught, they're like, shout out, because that's kind of our thing.
I like
That's why you
So,
do that. That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's really cute.
So
Okay.
then we're able to give shout outs that way.
He does
Okay.
that when we're in music teacher meetings and
Yeah.
someone's like, I
Yeah.
have a shout out, and everyone goes, shout
Shout
out. Yep.
Also,
Okay.
one for your art teacher for having a baby. So
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Yay. Well, and you know what? She just got an award. I can't remember who's giving it out, but she got like an art teacher award. So
Shout
that's
out.
good. I know. Stacy Clemenson is the best. She just took Finney artwork to the Coliseum
Wow.
to hang it in the Coliseum with artwork from all over the world with other kids about peace. And
Yeah.
they presented an art project to the UN.
Cool.
And so she's amazing.
That's awesome.
She really is the best VAPA partner I could hope to have.
So I had this idea that the VAPA team shot down, but I had this idea of a classroom management system. It was that every single student was like using token economy and whatnot. So all the students get money for doing good ideas, but not just that. On the board, you could see on the board how many, let's just say in Mr. Esna's class, they have as a whole, they have $100. You could then invest stock into that, and then that was just shot down immediately after that. I'm not even kidding.
That makes my brain hurt, John.
But it was so cool. Give me, okay, moving on.
Oh,
I
that's
have
interesting.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
And I also shout out to my art teacher. She's
Shout
having,
Shout out.
Miss Baldwin. She's having 2 babies.
She is. She's having twinsies.
Mazel tov.
Yes. Mazel tov. So, question for you all. What happens when a class, because the 4 expectations are class-wide, right? I mean,
Yes.
it's for the individual, but it's
Right.
really, you hold the class accountable.
Yeah.
When the class is not following the expectations and it's continued, what kind of interventions have you guys tried, and have any been successful?
Well, I've kind of adopted this from Hans's. We should get Hans on here.
Yeah, totally agreed.
But I've adopted a system he has. It's a magnet system. So if a student isn't breaking the rules, isn't following the expectations, like first time is a warning. Second time, if a student needs a little timeout, then they can get a timeout, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But right now, you're affecting us as an ensemble. He really emphasized the idea: we as a class are an ensemble. We're a musical family, and when you're doing things that break the rules that are expected, you're affecting us as a family. So if you need to take a little time out, you're still part of us, but you're just observing for now. A third time would be a letter home.
That'd be cool if you could take a picture. So for all of our systems, because we're doing kind of similar things, but all with our own variation on
Their own
it.
flair.
Yeah,
Our own culture.
Which you got to do. Yeah.
So I want to say that when I first came into the district, I faced a lot of resistance, especially from older kids, to everything I was doing. And I think some of it was I saw them once a month.
Oof.
It was hardly any time at all with the kids. It was a 45-minute lesson once a month. They had never had music before. It was like, you want me to do what? We didn't have resources. We didn't have instruments. So I'm trying to do body percussion and make them sing. And they're like, I don't want to move my body and I'm not singing. And I mean, who can blame them? Like,
Sure.
how uncomfortable is that? So some of it is just time and trust, and they have to get to know you. So
Right.
that is really hard when you are split between more than one school. But
Yeah.
nothing made a bigger difference than me. Sometimes you just need your break, and I get that. But as much as I possibly can be, I try to be on the playground and getting to know everybody's names and favorite dinosaur. And I especially pick out the kids that are the most resistant, and I just try to spend some time with them. So I had a little boy a couple weeks ago who really mouthed off in front of the whole class.
Okay.
And he's had a bit of a rough year, and I was surprised at the level of disrespect, but I just remained calm, and he, when the bell rang, he bolted out of the classroom, and I was like, oh boy, I need to talk to this kiddo. And he fell in the hallway and scraped his knee, and I'm like, gotcha. So the rest of the class left, and I just kind of sat on the floor with him and handed him a wet paper towel for his knee, and I was like, dude, you want to tell me what's going on? Because that was a lot today. I could tell you were feeling some strong things. And I think just having that calm human moment was really important. And I followed up with him the next day. And it came out after talking to him for a good 20 minutes. His best friend since kindergarten moved away. And he doesn't feel like he has any friends at school. And it took a lot of questions to get there. But I mean, that makes a lot of sense, you know, like he's hurting and he doesn't have that many tools at his age to like deal with those big giant emotions. So it's easy to just see the disrespect and be like, oh no, I don't think so. You don't talk to me like that. But I think taking a beat and being the grown up and being the safe grown up and just kind of proving like, you know, I'm still going to be warm and kind to you, goes further than a lot of other things.
Sure.
Sometimes you need to call home. Sometimes home doesn't answer, or sometimes home is not particularly supportive. But sometimes you do it anyway. There's lots of different things, but I think it always comes down to relationship.
Sure.
Yeah.
For me, when I have students who are acting out, if it's something that is a continual, or I know that the student tends to do this, or I've built a good rapport with this student, I'll just be like, do you need a break? Like, go get some water. Like, take a moment and then come back. I've built it in with my art teacher, and it's an understanding. Like, if it's just, they just need to be away from class for a little bit, we'll just send them to each other and like, hey, you need to go sit in Miss Cassie's class for just a few minutes, and I'll send somebody to come get you and when we're done with this activity. And that's been rather effective, having kids sit out and watch. You know, it is what it is. I haven't found anything groundbreaking, but that's what I use.
I think finding tools to keep yourself calm, though, that's pretty groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I try not to yell.
I know, we all do, but it's hard.
tough.
It's hard because they sure know how to push your buttons.
Yeah, and I think just knowing what your buttons are.
Yeah.
You know, like if you are able to recognize, like, I hate it when students say this or students do this, or I'll blow up if this happens. Knowing that about yourself when it does happen helps.
Yeah.
Like rolling your eyes used to bother the snot out of me. Like, I used to get so infuriated with it.
Yeah.
Now it's like, okay, like,
Yeah.
I appreciate it if you didn't
Don't take
roll your
it
eyes.
personally.
Right.
Yeah.
And then just if you just call out the action that they're doing instead of reacting to it, just like, oh, I noticed that you did that, it kind of takes them back.
Yeah, and don't ask them why. That doesn't go anywhere productive.
Right.
Yeah. Why did you just roll your eyes at me? It's not going anywhere good.
Right.
But yeah, I think observing the behavior is helpful, especially like after class, one-on-one, if at all possible.
Right.
I have sit spots that I put around the perimeter of the room, and I'll just say, like, you know, you're off task. I'm going to have you go over there and crisscross and give me a rest and ready position. And when I see you sitting upright with a smile on your face, then I'll call you back in.
Right.
You know, and if they're sitting there upright but they're not smiling, I'll just look at them and smile and wait for them to return it. One time I had 6 little boys in 2nd grade who were all on sit spots, and I was waiting for them. But it was remarkable how much more smoothly the activity went. And then I was able to identify, like, okay, those are the 6 kids I need to play tetherball with this week at recess.
Okay.
Highlight them in my chart. And it has gotten better. It's all relational.
It's all relational.
It's all relational.
Yeah.
It's all relational.
Dan Nelson.
Dr. Dan Nelson, rest his soul.
I want to add on to relational. Like, I had a group that was consistently getting 0 stickers in the first quarter, and it was really concerning me because we weren't learning. It didn't feel safe. Like, yeah. So I reached out to the teacher, and I knew she's right next door to me. So we've gotten to be friends, but she came into a difficult situation because she was hired mid-year. So there had been a different sub every day or every week for these students, and so they were really hesitant with her. They were throwing their desks up. They were just it was really bad at the beginning of the year, and it's still challenging. But I just talked to her and I said, hey, like, how are you doing? And she just like kind of broke down and was like, it's hard. And she has a doctorate in instructional strategies. Like, she's a great teacher. But then together, by the end of this conversation, we came up with a plan, like one behavior that we wanted to focus on, and that was listening. She said, I can't get through a simple direction because I have kids yelling or rolling on the floor or throwing things. And so we both started doing, I started doing marbles, and I think she was doing stickers. But, like, I created a chart. like, what does it look like and what does it sound like to be listening? And I just wrote it out. And then anytime I saw a student doing that, I drop a marble in. And then on the mason jar, because I was pretty sure they weren't going to fill the jar, I had like a very low level like line. It was like, okay, if we get to this line, then our reward is going to be I move our I slide it all the way back to where our stars started, where our stickers started. And then if we got up to the next one, okay, we're going to do a little like free dance. And if we get all the way to the top, then what did I say the big one was? Oh, we play a special instrument.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and it's just something to focus on, whereas before I was really down on it. I was like, I'm not reaching a single second grader this year. They're not learning. And then to find out...
It's a tough age.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of growth. In that
there is.
Developmental
They're
stuff.
coming out of that little kid and going into big. I feel like second grade has been a challenge for a while.
Yeah.
I have pick first stickers. So if a kid is doing really well during our warm-up, they'll get a pick first sticker and they get to pick their instrument first.
Oh, I like that.
They really like that a lot. And I just got like those like fluorescent dots from Office Max or whatever. You get like 1,000 for $1. You know, the little circles.
Just the little one.
Yeah, but it's a big deal. Can we talk about kindergarten for a second?
Sure.
Okay, so those little guys at the beginning of the year, some of them are still 4.
Yeah.
They come in knowing nothing. And I know even walking from their classroom to the music room takes like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And they have to go potty a lot. And and they don't know anything. So what do you guys do with kindergarten at the beginning of the year? How do you help shape them?
First off, do you see kindergarten the first week of school or no?
Not the first week,
Do any
but
of you?
I see
No,
them
that's
the
good.
second week of school.
Same here. Second
we
week.
push into the classroom the first week and we help support.
Okay.
So I actually did some. I helped teach their playground rules with a song.
Yeah, I taught playground rules as well. But yeah, as far as the restroom aspect,
Oh my gosh, it drives me crazy.
the first thing we do is we walk to the restroom. This is where the
Right.
restroom is. It's not inside your classroom. It's
Yeah.
very different. So that's something that the entire VAPA team does together. And then we walk inside. We just go over some simple classroom rules. The first day is pretty short actually for us, just because of how the system is working. But yeah, I think just being very deliberate but doing a very shotgun approach is how I like to say it, like just quick stuff,
Yeah.
quick jabs, as opposed to just spending so much time on a certain idea, just quick ideas. But in the middle of each lesson we're doing, a little activity we're doing, going over once again, what are the expectations, what are the rules, just so it's
Yeah.
instilled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a different personality with kindergarten than I do with anybody else. Especially at the beginning of the year. I have to be magical Mrs. Pridmore.
Oh.
And so
You
I
gotta
like...
really turn it on.
You really do. Like, they have to actually believe that you're a little bit magic or they won't listen to you.
Right.
And then you're right. You have to change activities every 5 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or you lose them.
Oh, yeah.
And I forget every year that they don't move. Like I have a song with jumping in it. And they are physically incapable of jumping without giggling. But it's not like a little bit. It's like really
lot,
loud. And
yeah.
then they do like that really loud laugh, you know, the fake laugh. You know what I mean? Everybody knows what I mean.
Yeah.
Teaches
I know what
kindergarten.
you mean.
You know what I
And
mean.
they do it, and then like, oh, they're doing it, so I'm gonna do it louder.
Exactly. And it's like, ah, right? So it's, yeah, I have my little stuffies that I talked about in a different episode that reinforce, like, you're singing beautifully. You get to hold
Right.
fortissimo. Or Mozart.
Mozart.
Mozart's the best.
Oh.
Do you guys have any kindergarten tricks? Because I know they drive everybody crazy at the beginning of the year.
Every time I pick them up, I sing "Come Follow,"
Okay.
and so then
I like
I
it.
walk in funny ways and let they just follow. And so pick
That's
that up
cute.
from Beatrice.
I like it.
Super
How do you
cute.
keep them? I know I have had some busy kids pulling stuff off my shelves the last couple years. And so I started covering up my shelves
Yeah,
with
me
like,
too.
yeah, is that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your strategy. Anybody else?
Item placement, really. Like,
Yeah,
making sure where my shelves are, they're located in
move
areas.
them out of the way.
Well, they're definitely not by the doorway.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's some shelves that I just drilled into the wall
Okay.
before my time they were there, and so like, that's where I keep my stuffed animals and such with curtains closed. And the kids are going there, and I talk with them, but like that's permanent. But like most of it, like I used to have desk bells. They used to be by the doors. Like, nope, that's not working
That's
anymore.
not a good spot
Move it
for
elsewhere.
those. Right.
I do a tour of my classroom the first day.
Okay.
And so just letting kids know. And then it's just telling them, like, this is what we do and don't do in music class. So I have instruments close to my door. I have one of those, like, 8x8 cube things, and that's where I store a lot of my instruments, my inputs, percussion. And they'll get played with occasionally, but
Yeah.
the kids know, like, hey, don't do that. Like, you're not supposed to do that. Because
Right.
I've told them, like,
Yeah.
when you're invited to use instruments, we get to use instruments. But if you're not invited, like, we don't touch the instruments.
Yeah. I have
So.
some drums by my door that I didn't cover up, and every once in a while somebody will bang one, and I always make a big deal, like, we have to go in the danger zone. You know, I go over and I danger. And the rest of the kids are like, can't believe you did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they're tricky. But I feel like if you set the tone and you raise them right, they're yours for 7 years. So that's a big incentive to get it right and learn their names.
I started using sit
kindergarten.
spots for the door lineup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
That's
I
a
got the
good
ones
idea.
with the musical notes on them, and then I put them like very far away from the wall. Because and then I have the cabinets
They don't
along
touch
the
the
wall,
wall.
and they're like always like draped over on the cabinet as they're leaving. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
No.
Stand up straight and tall.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's another trick that I do for the lineup.
That's
The
good.
leaving.
That's a good tip.
Oh, but Kinder, I make name tags.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I color code the group because we have some classes that get split, and it's really hard for them to remember that. So color coded, name, room number, because the first week we had so many just wandering
Man.
everywhere on the
know.
campus.
Herding cats.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have how about this one? How about we work with some interesting populations, and there's always a couple kids that just have a lot of extra needs. Sometimes we get, kids from trauma backgrounds who just are very easily triggered and get angry. I know I have a couple of kids that I have to do room clears with if they start, displaying really aggressive behavior. So we have cues and we have to exit the room. I'm wondering, what do you guys do when you have a case like that? What have you learned about that to keep everybody else learning and safe in the middle of it?
I have tried doing like the stuffed animal holding and stuff, and that's worked sometimes. Other times I've called for support from the office if I need it. I don't have any groundbreaking stuff. There are days where I'm just like, no learning is occurring right now. And it's because this kid's running around, this kid's screaming. It's just, it's chaos in the classroom, and regardless of how fun I think the activity is or how I'm trying to engage the kids, they're just not having it that day. But like, I have to remember that kid's also 5.
Yeah.
So like, I shouldn't take it personal.
Or 8 or 10 or whatever it is. Yeah.
Right. But in the case of Kinder, with the upper, like first and above, for the most part, things never get super out of control. I do have one student who does have a one-on-one aide that he stays with them. And he'll take a break when he needs it. When he's earned it, he'll come ask, like, may I take my break now? And if he's done a fine job, like, yeah, you can take your break. But then also just working with, we have an RSP teacher, and just kind of working with those IEPs and getting those and knowing what's on that shorthand form, because they're long documents, but like they have that quick, that short form of behaviors and whatnot. So if a kid has one, just making sure I know what it is and I'm acknowledging it. And yeah.
It's always hard for me, especially when I get new kids, to learn how far I can intervene and it'll be positive, and when to let it go. So I think that's, especially with 400, that's the hardest thing for me to keep in mind with so many different needs going on. Yeah, but I try to keep it positive and try to just be predictable and safe. So that's what it always comes down to, is predictable and safe.
Also adding on to that, like, the positivity is for yourself, but also it's for these students that are not having displaying behavioral problems, because they're gauging off all kids gauge it off of you.
And
so if they see that you're frustrated, they'll take note of that, usually for worse, unfortunately. But if you keep like a calm demeanor, they know that the other kids are not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Right.
Yeah. So just keeping keeping a calm demeanor is not just for yourself, but it's also for the rest of the classroom. Yeah.
It's true. I picked up some fun things over the years from different teachers that we've learned from, to get them quiet and wait for them to be quiet. And I've learned that even if I sprout 3 more gray hairs, I will not speak until they are quiet. You know, I will stand there. And I love Cindy Giebler's Please Hold for the next available music teacher. You know, I use that one a lot. But just like stopping and taking a deep breath. We had a professor in college that taught choir that loved to talk about how you have to keep in mind that kids, when you're teaching young kids, they're not people yet. They're pre-people. And so if they do something really hurtful, you're like, well, that's just because you're not a person yet.
That's funny.
You're a pre-person.
So I would say, okay, I have an example where I batted probably like less than 25.
Mm-hmm.
Like in terms of the student would be yelling, saying, I hate you, and to the point he would have to leave.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he would willingly leave and just sit outside. But I felt like very, like, kind of like unworthy of teaching. I was like, wow, I can't reach this student.
Mm-hmm.
And so like 2 years of this. And granted, I didn't know him when he was younger.
Mm-hmm.
But the student returned after going to middle school and came back to the elementary school. And I had never gotten a high five, nothing from this guy. And he gave me a hug.
Oh.
And it's never, I don't think it's personal. I think
No.
Usually
like
it's
most
not.
kids, it's
Almost
just,
not, yeah.
they're not ready.
Well, they
for
have
that.
so many feelings and they don't know where
Yeah.
to put them.
Yeah.
So I went through, I just lost one of my best friends to cancer. And I went to school really sad after that happened. And had a good cry in the car on the way to school. And I got in the classroom and I was like, I'm just not ready to be positive Mrs. Pridmore today. And 6th grade came in and I just told them. I was like, guys, I never put my personal stuff on you, but I'm really sad today. And I just need you to know that if I'm not, perky or extra patient with you, it's not you. I'm going through a lot. And this little girl raised her hand and was like, Mrs. Pridmore, can we hug you? And like all of the 6th graders and
That's so sweet.
but then they wanted to talk about it. And a lot of them have lost people that they love and they don't know how to talk about grief. And I think just being honest too, like once you've gotten the relationship to that point, a certain amount of vulnerability can be really team building.
I agree.
If appropriate.
Because if, again, like I said in an earlier episode, if we expect these kids to do so much, but I feel like it's been expected for a teacher to be so distant from their personal life when they go inside, and to some extent that's important.
Yeah, it is.
But also to showcase vulnerability. If you're, especially as a music teacher or an art teacher of any sort, if you need them to showcase vulnerability, it's important for that you showcase it as well. And again, boundaries need to be set.
Yes, absolutely.
But I don't think we as teachers need to be this stoic force of good for the kids. Sometimes we need to just showcase where the seams are being ripped, and that's okay.
It is okay. And I think seeing somebody walk through hard stuff in a healthy way is a really good thing. Yeah.
Again, it's all relational.
It's all relational. It's true. So, yeah, good talk, guys.
Yeah.
So many people think like, okay, in order for me to be effective at class management,
There you
I
go.
have to be like
okay?
this unshakable authority.
Right.
Then you're not allowing yourself to be vulnerable.
Yep.
Yeah.
Unshakable authority, dibs on band name.
But also, like, I don't know, like, if kids see that adults also have the same feelings that they do, when they get older, they won't think that they're messed up. They won't think that what's wrong with me. I said, no, I saw that Mr. Seligman also had some issues as well, and he wasn't happy, and that's okay. It's okay to be sad.
It's okay to be sad. It's okay to feel sad sometimes. We have a Spiccato.
Spiccato.
So it is a plastic dinosaur. I have more if
What?
we want to get out more plastic dinosaurs.
My inner child is very disappointed. Does anyone know what this
I don't know what kind of dinosaur this one is.
A spiky dinosaur.
You can, if you know.
It has a fin. I don't
yeah.
know. I have a T-Rex and I think I have a Stegosaurus. Oh, thanks, Brian. Okay.
Oh, we got
There's
more.
If this could be, if this is going to be released during November, it could be for Dinovember.
Dinovember, yeah.
Dinovember.
So if
Yeah.
anyone does know this dinosaur, please feel free to comment below.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's right. Okay, so how would you use plastic dinosaurs in music class?
Let's see here.
You're all thinking it.
Yes, exactly.
Donkey.
And that's exactly what
Donkey.
Oh man.
We're just going to play dinosaurs now, guys.
Well,
Yeah.
we could do what was Dave Thaxton's from Orf Level 1 with the little lizard guy.
The little lizard guy. Oh, lizard. Zoli, 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 Zoli. Lizard's Song. It's
Lizard
an old
Song.
book called Lizard's
Lizard
Song,
Song.
and he wrote a little song.
To that.
Zoli, 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 rock is my home, rock is
Hey,
my home.
I did that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
with
That was a
rhythm
good one.
Oh
works
gosh,
and-
I remember that now.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a good one. You could do Lizard Song.
For my daughter's first birthday, someone gifted her a book of T-Rex and like can't hug or something like that.
Oh, I
And
love
so
those
it just, yeah. You could tie it in with the book somehow and have these.
Or
as
the
your
Dinosaurs Love
reality.
books. Have you seen those?
No, but
Dinosaurs
I'm curious.
Love Tacos is the best one.
I love tacos.
It's a good book. You would enjoy it.
Dinosaur.
You should get it. So that's
Okay.
a good one. I have a really cute counting book, 10 Tiny Dinosaurs. So
Oh.
that's how I've been using it. And there's this preschool song, and I don't know who wrote it, but it's on YouTube. It's like, we are the dinosaurs
Laurie
marching.
Buckner.
There you go. Thank you. Who?
Laurie Berkner?
Laurie Berkner.
The
It's
Laurie
a really
Berkner
cute
Band.
song.
Yeah, Gemma rocked
We
out to that.
are
totally.
the dinosaurs. What do you think of that? Yeah, and we stomp around the room like dinosaurs. So many good
Okay.
dinosaur songs.
I was thinking actually doing the whole shadow screen.
Okay. Oh, be a dinosaur behind
Be a
It's a silhouette screen. My,
My
art
apologies,
teacher, if
you're
she
right.
listens to this, I have to say it right. So
I'm
silhouette.
going to say shadow screen.
You can't be a shadow screen because you're not casting the shadow. You're
Also-
creating a silhouette.
I'm casting the shadow. You don't know.
Earlier episodes, I don't know
I'm
if
a
we actually
dinosaur.
said this, but like to you listening, if you have your own ideas, please let us know.
Oh yes.
I mean,
Ooh, we'll
this is
tweet
not
that
limited
out.
to us four by any means. So
Yeah,
if you
how
have to
would
do
you
with
use
dinosaur,
plastic dinosaurs? So if you have spent any time on Pinterest and seen the phenomenon that is Dinovember, it's really it's really awesome. And it was like this mom a few years ago took her son's plastic dinosaurs and set them up every day of November, like trashing the house. And it's kind of like a November Elf on the Shelf, and it's such a cute idea, but really it's for moms who are way more awesome at doing that
My
stuff than
mind
I
went-
am. I can't keep that kind of thing
We're
up.
only 6 days into November, so we still
Okay.
got the rest. Of
You got
November to get
time,
out
so
of it.
maybe you could do Dinovember in your music room.
Ooh.
That'd be fun. T-Rex could play the trumpet.
His arms couldn't reach. He couldn't play the trombone. I'll tell you that much.
That's true.
Oh,
awesome.
Aw,
He would
T-Rex
probably
can't play
want to play
trombone.
the trombone too.
children's book. T-Rex can't play trombone.
There you go. I task you with
Boom.
writing it. Boom.
There it is.
Okay.
Before
Round of the week.
we get to the round of
So,
the week,
oh yeah. Oh hey. So
Yes.
thanks for listening, you guys. And if you are taking anything valuable from these, and you think that other music teachers would find it valuable, we would so appreciate it if you liked it and shared the episodes and tagged us while you're doing it.
Yeah.
Follow us on social media. We'd love to see you. Shoot us an email at chaoticharmonyclassroom@gmail.com with what you're getting out of it. And it really makes us really excited when we see we have new subscriptions on YouTube. So
Definitely.
please subscribe.
Also, let us know if you have any ideas, just like Crystal said, but also it would help us a lot so that we can have more people be a part of this community. If you could...
There's a dinosaur watching him now.
If you could give us a review, please give us a review. This makes us more visible to more music teachers to be a part of this community here.
And it helps us know how we're doing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Round of the week. The horn awakes me at morn.
So right now
Can you
we're
try
going
that?
over the orchestra quadruplet.
Yes, quadruplet.
Quadruplet.
Okay, so how about I sing the whole thing, and then we'll break it up into parts.
Cool.
Okay.
Sure.
The violins playing like lovely singing. The violins playing a lovely song. The clarinet goes doodle 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 dead. The clarinet goes doodle 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 da. The horn awakes me at morn.
Alto part.
The horn awakes me at morn. The timpani's 2 tones are always the same tones. 5 1 1 5 5 5 5 5 1. The trumpet is braying da 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 da. The trumpet is braying da 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 da. Okay.
Mark, do I know
There's
what
a
you're
lot.
doing?
So
The horn.
how about who calls the horn? And I think you should be the timpani.
I'll be the timpani.
Okay, clarinet.
I'll do
The
clarinet.
Okay, so Zoe, the clarinet goes doodle 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 dead. The clarinet goes doodle 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 da. The horn awakes me at morn. The horn awakes me at morn. The tones are always the same tones. 5 1 1 5 5 5 5 5 1. The violins playing like lovely singing. The violins playing a lovely song. The trumpet is graying. Da 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 da. The trumpet is graying. Da 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 da. Good job.
Yeah.
All right, that one's really fun to teach kids about parts in an orchestra. So it's really cute, and it's easy to divide them up.
And it's better than just showcasing Benjamin Britten's guide to the orchestra, which I definitely did my first year, which is not good.
It's okay.
You learn.
okay.
We learn.
Lemony Snicket's The Composer is Dead. Oh my gosh, it's like my favorite book ever. It's really long, and I haven't yet figured out how to put it into like a full length. Yeah. Oh my gosh, you guys. And the version of him like doing the narration for it. You got to look it up.
Cool.
It's
Okay.
fabulous. Yeah, and it teaches parts really well. Parker's obsessed with it. It's popular in the Pridmore house. Anyway, okay, so where can we follow you, Zoe?
I'm at Ms. Kumagai.
On Twitter.
I'm on Twitter at Mr. Keehmer.
I'm on Twitter, and also by the time this gets released, as well as Instagram at Mr. Seligman, MrSeligman. Also, you can find us as a whole podcast at CH Classroom.
Yeah, on Insta. And I am on Twitter, both at Finny Vappa, where I tweet daily classroom updates, and at Mrs. Pridmore, which is more of my personal collection of, but it's music ed stuff. Thanks for listening, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great week.
Bye.
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 The Chaotic Harmony podcast is a joint project between Crystal Pridmore, Jonathan Seligman, Zoe Kumagai, and Marc Keehmer. You can find us online at chaoticharmonyclassroom.com. You can email us at chaoticharmonyclassroom@gmail.com and let us know what you think. Give us feedback about what you would like to hear in future episodes. We're on all the socials. Find us on facebook.com/chaoticharmonyclassroom. You can find us on Twitter at CHClassroom, Instagram at Chaotic Harmony Classroom, and you can even find our episodes on YouTube. Chaotic Harmony is the name of our channel. Special thanks to Brian Pridmore for his help with production and equipment. www.pridmoria.com. Hi everyone. I wanted to point you towards some resources that we hope you will find helpful after you listen to this episode in case you're interested in exploring it further. So the podcast crew and Laure Casimiro, whom you heard in a previous episode, did some research together, and we were privileged to present at the Mega Arts Conference on October 17th in Balboa Park. It's a large gathering of hundreds of arts educators and administrators from all over San Diego. Our session was titled Classroom Management When You Teach Every Child in Your School, and it was was a packed house. We had such a great time spreading what we've learned to all of those arts educators, many of whom are doing what we are doing and reestablishing music and art programs in their schools after a 30-year absence or more of arts ed in their districts or counties. So we have made that video available to you. You can find the video of our actual conference presentation with the embedded PowerPoint in the video itself, or if you are just interested in clicking through our PowerPoint presentation, all of that is available in the description in this episode. There are some specific links. You can always visit our website, chaoticharmonyclassroom.com/resources, to find those links as well. And please give us feedback. We're always happy to hear from you. If anything in this episode or in those resources has made a difference for you, leave us a comment, shoot us a message. We're always thrilled to hear from our listeners. Thank you.
We learned
the
what that
trumpet goes
meant.
toot 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 toot
I don't
toot
remember.
toot toot
Okay.
toot 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 toot.
So,
Do you think we could do that?
totes and goats.
I don't think we should do it.
It's a lot.
though.
Okay, so
What?
Crystal,
Why not?
can you
It's really
explain what you
kitties
mean
around.
by layers of
Layers of
management?
classroom management, like ogres. Ogres have layers.
Like Shrek?
Yep. Thanks for that.
Donkey.
Yeah, I'll explain.
I'm gonna put that somewhere in this episode. Cool.
All right. Let's just do it. Let's see what happens.
Okay, we'll just find
Right.
out.
We'll
Yeah.
see how it goes.